Oh, it's Saturday morning, isn't it? I woke up at 5. It's a nice way to wake up, actually, this kind of musical thing. But I woke up at 5 to the wind blowing and pushing things against the roof like tree limbs. It's going to be a stormy little day. You might see the lights flicker every once in a while. Won't be as bad as some folks in the Midwest are going to suffer today. But we definitely are going to have a blustering day. You get caught in between ideas sometimes, especially when you're just making stuff up as you go along. And I'm like, I want to do this, or something like that, and you're like, yeah, let's try it, and then you screw it up, and you do it twice in a row. But just means I have more things to figure out. Hey, Zuhair, you made it. How are you? Well, I mean, you didn't say, hey, sweetheart, or Snookums, but, I... No, dude, I know a few people. And some of the people I know, we actually talk to each other like that, and it's completely in jest and good, earnest fun. My friend John, for instance, he's like, hey, baby. I'm like, how you doing, sweetheart? And it's cool, and I'm not only straight, but I'm extremely, I think they came out with a term that really suited me, was super straight, and the internet erupted with anger for some reason. So, yeah, nice to see you, too. Friday nights, somewhere between Friday. I've got these Friday rituals, right? So if I can make it, Friday night tights, nerdrotic, and a lot of times, I'm at work, so unless I'm sitting with headphones on, I can't actually watch it. But it is a absolute ritual. When I get home, I basically get my tea going. And today is in a Play Faster mug. Nice black tea. I've got a wonderful Earl Grey in the other room, and when this one's done, I'm on to that one. But it's loose leaf, so it's just sitting there, getting all nice and strong. I like strong tea. But at any rate, what I was saying is we're gonna get some stormy weather today. Not very long though. I guess they're predicting like 4 hours of really gusty winds. I'm running the plumes today. It's one of the pedals that I'm not going to get rid of. And I had an offer on the White Jackson last night. It was a dumb offer, though. Not really. I mean, the guy didn't read my listing correctly that said, no trays, don't even ask. So he offered me trays. And I said, maybe you didn't read that right. No trades. I like your gear, though. We're kind of on the same wavelength. But my idea is to have less at the end of this than the same amount. So, and he said, well, buying is not. I said, if you wanted to buy it, on the other hand, you know, I'm open to talk. And he said, well, buying is not out of the question, but could you put pickups in it that came out of the Jackson Roads? And I'm like, no. No, I cannot. I do a lot of work for myself. I explained this in a stream last week, but I do a lot of work for myself because I enjoy that. But when it comes to start working for other people, the term working, it's kind of work. And it takes all the fun out, you know, all of it. How you doing there, puppy dog? You all right? Yeah, you're okay. And I said, I mean, I'll leave the option open to you. If you really want me to install the EMGs that I've got lying around, for one, the EMGs will cost you $100 extra. And for two, I would be happy to install them for you for $200, which will, and I said this to him, I'll install them for $200 because I want you to not use me to install them. It'll be cheaper anywhere else you go. So that's that. But he hasn't got back to me, and I don't think he will. I mean, I want to sell it, but I don't want to be like bend over backwards to make a sale. That's, if you want the thing, you want the thing. If you don't want the thing, you don't want the thing. So, and I'm like, give the pickups that are in right now a chance because they're actually really good. And I personally don't like active pickups because they don't do this. He had some nice gear, though. He offered like a Randy Rhoads model, which I already have, and I'm trying to sell one, and a white-faced rat, which I didn't know they even existed, but I took a look at it. I mean, I already have a rat pedal, but this one's white, and it's like, ooh, a negative, you know? It's neat. It's different. So, you know, I mean, that's like the draw of like the Earthquaker pedals, right? Because right now I'm running an Earthquaker Plumes that's a Coast Sonic exclusive in a hammered black finish, and I love it. I love that. But I also like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame finish, which is like purple sparkle, and I'm not buying it because I don't support the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, really, because they've become watered down, to say the least. So, but I'm feeling kind of, you know, I'm feeling like Stratish, but with a little more muscle. Or you could do that minor third chord. Like that. Something like that. But that's the tone I'm feeling. I'm not necessarily feeling that music, but, you know, this parallel thing with the split coils here. Little Neil Sean-esqueness. But yes, so the stormy weather, if we lose connection, there's a reason why. There's a neat one. It's a pretty common little blues phrase. Became very popular at the end of the 80s with guys like Alex Skolnick. This is not exactly the same as this. You are not here for now. Right. See you when you get back. But this is a popular little thing. This, again, it's not really the same kind of notes. You're still getting a flat 5 there, like so. But this is more of like a major transformation. This is straight out of the blues scale. And because it is, I mean, like I said, it is the same, but I mean, when I see this, I see major. I don't necessarily see Is it? But I mean, it's just a matter of what you see. So for me, I see two different things. By the way, this would be really the same as this, but like I said, with the octaves, that works. But this is there, and this is not kind of there. I mean, that's what's there, but that's blues, because flat 5, flat 5, flat 5. Anyway, not explaining that well. It's early and Saturday. But this you can extend that. You don't have to play it exactly like that. Now go take that, start here, and go to the next note, like so, but same notes, so you can even I would do it 2 and 2. Something like that. That's a nifty thing. I wouldn't say, trick or anything. It's not a trick. It's just kind of neat. Well, let's see. Packing an ad in. I am hoping, though, that the guitars do sell. I just lowered the prices on everything yesterday, amp included. $50 off on most of them, $100 off on a couple of them. The more expensive ones, like the Schecter and the Jackson Rhodes, knocked $100 off. Hopefully, quick sale will happen. Stick with D major, or maybe make it a little bit Lydian-esque. Mixolydian-esque. There is no G in B Lydian. Oh, a neat thing. The pickups have arrived. Finally. And this is essentially an unboxing. It's not an unboxing, but it's essentially an unboxing. Because I've already unboxed them, it's not an unboxing, but still. They came in this box. The U.S. Postal Service will actually not let me ship in boxes of this size. But this guy's got it all in spades. He delivers it. I mean, it's great. And he delivers every time. But I will say that the United States Postal Service has had their share of difficulties. Oh, I was just starting the conversation about it. So Guitar Part Zone came through, as usual. I haven't installed them yet. I was just going to show you. They came in this box. I have taken them out of the box, but I have not taken them out of the wrapper yet. It takes about an hour in total, and that's I'm letting the clearing off my desk. I don't have the guitar on it right now, but clearing off the desk, workbench, plugging in the soldering iron, letting it heat up, going to fetch a cup of tea, making sure that I have all the materials necessary for this. And this is a complete rewire because the guitar has 0 things in it now. Absolutely nothing. And to get it to go, do I have a blade over here of some type? Yes, I do. Good. It's always nice to have a little razor blade hanging around. So even if it's old and you've used it several times over. There we go. All right. So, because I'm old and used several times over and I'm okay. So, anyway, unrolling them. As you'll see, they have it's stamped N for neck, just so you know. But, now, as you can see, nickel silver base plate. Very, very nice. It's well constructed. There's a nice bit of tape around the guy. I'm not really holding this up, am I? So there's a nice bit of very nice, kind of rubberized tape. It is completely, or excuse me, basically high quality pickup. It is what it is, and we don't take these off until the very end, but it looks lovely. It's an Alnico force. Alnicos are typically a little more squat anyway, and you can definitely tell it would be an Alnico magneted pickup just because it's a little more squat. Ceramics, for whatever reason, usually because of the cast of the magnet, tend to be just a little higher. So, at any rate, that's that. These things are a marvel of engineering. I mean, they really, really are. The guy who invented the humbucker in the first place, Seth Lover, was a genius. So, and of course I've got two of these. This is just the neck, but the bridge is there as well. But I expect it'll take about an hour to install. I've got my, what is that? Reuse, recycle. So, had this come in the other day, and this the other day is the other year. But this had what is that? Thermal paste and, some other stuff. So with that thermal paste, I mean, you can have a great time installing CPUs, fine, sure, but this is some really nice high-grade, high-density foam, and this is what's going underneath the pickups. So, recycle, right? I mean, I really don't kind of believe that recycling works. I think when you can reuse materials like jars, foam, whatever, then that's real recycling. So, yeah, but the answer is about an hour. So a little bit later today. I'm not going to do it right now, but I want to see if the wind blows over, if we're going to lose power at all. We probably won't. We're on a pretty good grid. But I'll tell you what, where I used to live in Olympia, the capital city, by the way, of Washington. A lot of people think it's Seattle. It's not. Seattle runs Olympia, so it might as well be, but it's not supposed to be that way. But yeah, if I lived in Olympia still, or on the outskirts of town, where I also used to live, I swear if somebody sneezed in the neighborhood, the power would go out. Literally, if the wind goes, the power's gone. It's out for at least an hour. Oh my God, we don't know what to do. This one, where I'm at right now, we've had 6 power outages in 12 years. Wait, 14 years. I forgot what year it was. So, 6 power outages. That's it. Compared to like 50 a year in Olympia, Lacey, and then over at, which is kind of like a tri-city. They're all kind of shoved together. Lacey is actually bordered on all sides by Olympia, and then there's Tumwater right below it in the south. It's an interesting thing. But yeah, if you have any questions about, how to install them, I'd be happy to field that. I don't know if I've actually ever made a video about that, but it's not a tough thing. It's really not. Well, I could tell you stories about our some more official people in official capacities regarding the recycling thing. So, I mean, if I return, let's see, products be resold, recycled. How's it hurting the planet? Well, okay, so the planet's a lot stronger than any of us, even collectively. It's been here a lot longer than us. It's going to be here a lot longer than us too, on a scientific level. It's not a fragile thing. We are fragile, but the planet itself is absolutely not. It is abundant and resoundingly resilient. So let's take Mount St. Helens after all. That's just one. We're talking about enough carbon dioxide, enough carbon monoxide, enough water vapor to alter. I mean, it's just a VEI5 eruption, but it was enough to alter like the weather on the planet for 3 years by a very small margin. And that's just from a volcano going off. That's effectively a 3 megaton blast with a whole lot of, afterage. And then what happens to the planet? Does it stay that way? No, it naturally heals. It's not a thing, but it was more than we could possibly ever do because of its little blip. We have 26 active volcanoes on the planet at any one point in time. And those 26 active volcanoes put a lot more crap into the atmosphere than we do, and there's only one paper that disputes it, and it's an opinion piece. It's not a real scientific journal. It's not. It was published by NASA, but it was published prior to that by somebody else. NASA picked up on it because NASA is like, ooh, give us money. And that's really what it's all about. So control, money, what you can do with what you have. So yeah, I think it's a grift. It's a scam. They used to pay us. I don't know how old you are roughly, but when I was a boy, recycling was seen as like kind of noble, in the sense that they would pay you for your used materials. So if you had glass, you could take the glass down and they give you money for the weight in glass that they're going to melt down and use for other glass. Then, the same with aluminum cans. This is why you see like bag ladies and all sorts of bums and stuff like that grabbing all the aluminum cans they can. They take it down to the recycler. They get money for that. I think the most we ever got for a load of cans was like $30. But they used to pay us for that. We go out of town to the recycling thing, bring them the cans, and by weight, they give us $30. My mother and I literally saw a movie and ate dinner on that $30 that same day. I can't remember what movie it was, and I think it was around 1985. So it could have been a lot of different things. But that all I'm suggesting, though, is, when they got wind of like the whole thing, wait a minute, people are buying the climate thing. We can force them and make them pay for recycling instead of, them getting paid by recyclers. And so that's what they do now. And then most of the stuff in the recycling areas at like the landfill and stuff like that, so when you take it all down, it still goes into the same landfill. They don't actually keep it separate, and they don't actually reuse it. But it's kind of a grift now. It was legitimate for a long time, which is why I'm like, all right, so if you want to recycle, take something that you have that is junk and do something with it. That's personal. That's kind of like, do you believe in raising taxes to help the homeless? No, I believe if there's a homeless guy down the street, you can help him. So, physically, get them some food, try to get them a job, that kind of thing. It's a personal deal. So, yeah. Oh, hey, good morning to you. If it in fact is morning over there, probably isn't, is it? Let me show you something about recycling that I was just talking about. Best Buy gift cards notwithstanding. Let me move all that aside. Open up the pick basket. Not a picnic basket. No. A pick basket. Let's see if I've got one of these in here. I dropped something. Don't know what it was. Great. All right. Let's bring this over here. I have guitar picks. Yes, this is like a box for tea, but I may like tea, but I also like guitar picks, and this is very convenient. Let's see. Let me turn that down so I'm not letting everybody have it all at once. I do not believe I have one in here. That surprises me a bit. But I used to take gift cards and credit cards and whatnot. These are great. So, but I used to take them, like I was saying, and I would make guitar picks out of them. I have a pick punch specifically for that. And it works. It works great. The picks are actually pretty good. They're a decent shape. They're the pick shape that you'd expect. And all you have to do once you stomp them out is file the edges a little bit. A nail file works pretty good for that. You're good to go. And you've got guitar picks forever, as long as you're getting rid of gift cards. I do not have my wallet on me, but I actually have pickpockets, designed pickpockets in the wallet that I have. So I get you. I understand that too. How's the Maiden cover coming? Maybe I should do something better with that. So, other pick holders that I have hanging around that I forgot that I had hanging around right there. Let's see if I can dig up a credit card one from here. There's another one. I have so many guitar picks. It's next week. Man, it's taking a long time. It should be good. Can't wait to hear it. Gee, I wonder if I'm a part of it. Let's see. Here is a very flat rock my daughter picked up for me. Said, Dad, try this as a guitar pick. You know what? It works. It actually works. Has a nice kind of grittiness to it. So yes, you can play guitar with a rock. Not I-R-A-Q, but A-R-O-C-K. So it will be a part of a full album. Holy crap! Great! Very cool. Hey, you are very prolific. You know that? Let's see. 1,000 guitar picks. And none of them are what I was hoping that I would find. They should be pretty easy to feel out, too. But, no, if you... I gave away, not too long ago, a whole mason jar. So about, yay big. Full of guitar picks. I'm a collector, but, I understand that if you're only playing one or two of them... What does the matter, kitty? You hear that? Is that Alan? Hello? Alan is very talkative when he's in the bathroom. It's what he does. He's also the largest cat we have. He actually outsizes Hopper in girth and height and just about everything else. We were wondering if he was going to be bigger. He is. Oh, let's see. This doesn't look good to you. Well, that's what I have over here. I have an organized, light picks to extremely heavy. And this does work, but, it would work better if I had the same kind of pick in it. This is basically just like, all right, where the heck is it? Oh, here's one I made out of wood. That works pretty well, too. Slightly different tone. Mostly works well. All right. I think I'm done digging. I'm just not finding anything that suits the bill. Somebody asked me last week if I used big stubbies. I don't. I use the stubbies when I use stubbies. Those are fine. What I've been using this morning is another Wiegand. It's a Wiegand flat pick, a 2mm. Very nice. Research assistant for a biology graduate. Have you ever considered working for PepsiCo? Washington has an extremely high cost of living. They're working on trying to get the minimum wage to $25, which is going to drive costs way out of range of reasonable. If everybody made a living wage, if everybody makes a living wage, it'll make things unlivable for everyone. You're only raising the 0 point, the baseline. If you raise this, everything else has to raise on top of it in order to fund this. But the problem is, businesses can't afford to just go ahead and jump everybody up to making 2 to 3 times as much as that base minimum wage. So, I can imagine, it'd be awesome to make $75 an hour, but that's just not the reality of it. What that's going to do is equalize everyone to a certain degree and kind of spread misery. Right now, our base minimum wage where I work is $24 an hour. And if they increase the minimum wage to $25 here, it's going to kind of make a lot of people who make, $35 an hour kind of meaningless. When I first started there, I was making nearly triple what minimum wage was when I first started. Right now, I'm not making double what it makes. So what all that's doing, like I said, is lowering my standard of living. The more they raise the minimum wage, the lower my standard of living gets. So yeah, Pepsi loves biology majors. They love them, especially for places like, quality control. The lab environment. You can make a decent living there. It's not like you'll make $100,000 a year, but you can work a lot of overtime. It's possible. But let's see, what's another one? It's a hard job though. I worked in a Pepsi lab for a while, quite a while. So, and it's a hard job. It's more physical than you think, unless you're the microbiologist. See, that's a little different, and that's still pretty physical. And you'll be taking measurements and readings all over the place. We're not currently where I'm at hiring for a microbiologist, but look into it. Pepsi always hires through Indeed.com. So, no, I don't really want to share what my industry is, but I will tell you that I have worked in a lab for many years, and I don't work in a lab now. I work in an administrative capacity. And I hear that Coke treats their employees like dirt. Pepsi doesn't quite do that. They're more like the stuff on top of dirt. No, I'm just kidding. So right? Just, we can't have it all, can we? So, some people may have noticed, at least one of you, that I finally figured out how to do like a pre-roll on a scheduled stream, like the people that I watch actually do. It's much easier than I expected. But once again, I have to thank things like videos and other people for allowing me to access that knowledge. There's a neat little thing. This, we're going to go up in E minor arpeggio. There's the triad. Starting your 7th fret, E note on the A string. D string would be the G note, and the G string would be the B note. And we're just going to travel up the strings after we get there. That would just be half step, whole step on top of that. We're going up to a D. And then we're going to do a series of pull-offs in the whole step, half step, whole step, half step pattern, and then start that pattern again. It's fun. You can go up a little higher if you want. Actually, that would be more difficult, so let's... just kind of slip and slide back and forth. Very nice. Another thing we could probably do, just head straight there. When you say resistance, do you mean reticence? Hesitance? My brain doesn't want to pick it up, or something like that. Same old thing, exercise songs. Well, yeah, plateaus. Yeah, so we all have those. We all reach them. I've been at, personally, it's not a plateau. It's a steady decline in ability, but a steady increase in both knowledge and musicality. So I am a better musician than I used to be, although I used to be a much better technician. Does that make sense? This kind of stuff, I used to just much better at it. Now I'm much worse at it, but I put things together better, and it's more musical as a result of it. So let's see. Upstrokes improved. Let's see. Can fly through strings up and down, holding flat pick. Almost no need for an angle. Well, you should try the angle, though. So if you're just picking straight, that is actually causing more resistance. Not like it can't be done, but it's causing more resistance. If you angle it just a little bit, I mean, and for me, it's, you know, it's not only an angle where this is turned not quite 45 degrees, but it's also turned on the axis downward a little. For some, for me, it's upward a little. So this is a slant and an upward thing. There's a lot of glide. It's very, very nice. You get a drop in gain? No, I don't think I did. There we go. Just have fun doing crap like that. I don't know. I think I'm starting to get the feeling that I need to get the Satriani out again. Every once in a while, like at least once a year, I channel the living spirit of Satriani, and I put out a little, you know, of what I think sounds like Joe Satriani to me. You know, so I make effectively a new Joe Satriani song. Now he's Joe Satriani. I'm not Joe Satriani, of course, but it's kind of fun to do some sort of hero mimicry. And the funny thing is, to me, is for a long time, I was a Randy Rhoads fanatic. And so some of the stuff that he does is inherently, you know, Cry of the Gypsy. I don't know it, but we can always try to learn it. So, yeah. Thanks, Dockin. Or rather, thanks, George Lynch. How? Actually, that really reminds me of a couple of things before we continue on. And you're just talking about the lead to that. So George does some crazy stuff. You know, fully admit that. But much like, you know, you and I and everybody else who plays guitars, we tend to have our tropes. We tend to have our, where the hell is, where'd the live stream thing go? We tend to have our tropes, and one of them, there it is. And one of them, yeah, it's talking. One of them is, which is the half-step minor third shape. So basically, up the next fret and then skip 2 frets. And, you know, I know that's more of a Diamondero thing. But this, see what I'm doing there? Just heading straight up there, shifting up to the octave, same shape, octave, same shape. So he does stuff like that. Sometimes he even extends that to a whole step, or excuse me, another semitone, and then, you know, skips 3 frets here, and because of the skip of 3 frets, that's a major third. Which is a little harder to do, but, you know, you get used to it. Now you can't see. I'm on, right? So this, let's try, you need me to use a different guitar? So, no, not necessarily root. I'm literally just talking positionally speaking, because, if I would play this, I would probably play it over A, E. You know, there's different tonalities for all of it. What you have to do is just take the shape that he's doing and put it in the right spot. But I'm not necessarily saying that that's exactly what he's doing. But you know, it's one of those things. Let's flee from those and go here. That's which is an awful lot. Is it the intro lead that you're having trouble with? Because there's tapping there, I think. Oh, an interesting thing. I read a interview with him a long time ago. He literally tries to pick everything, but he winds up doing a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs because the pick doesn't often hit. But he tries to pick everything. George Lynch. And it's in the key of A something, probably minor. But I did mention this before as being like in a King Diamond tune. Well, somebody mentioned that this was a lot like what is that with where this was similar. Yes, it is. Anytime you're hitting like a that to that and this in both chords, or it's very similar, and it always to me harkens back to like Bryan Adams. I'm not really a big fan of Bryan Adams, but Run to You was very popular in 1983. And I got to hear an awful lot of it on a thing before we had MTV called Night Tracks, and also the radio, which was a thing back then. So, but yeah, so I was hearing stuff like that. You know, it's extremely 80s as a trope, and I'm not surprised that more people used it than didn't. All right, let's get to the lead. Good thing I'm not monetizable yet. Should be stricken immediately. Dude, a lot of people were simping for Adams. I'm not hearing a lot of stretches. What you just heard was a cut. So he went from this, his patented kind of vibrato by slipping over frets. He's not the only one that did that, though. Warren DeMartini did an awful lot of that, like in the Round and Round solo, for instance, you hear it. But this, when he immediately goes from this, like a bit, you know, way up there, that was punched in. That he did not do that fully in the studio, so don't worry about it being something that you have to do, you know, as fluently as he. So. Taps. Harmony. I'm not hearing anything crazy wide stretches. Good lead as usual. George Lynch was very, very good at constructing those. And by the way, that is something that I got to tell you. I'm not a really big fan of just, you know, improvised stuff. The only person that I really listen to a lot that absolutely improvises every single lead that they do is Yngwie. And I think there's a good reason for that, because he has an amazing ability to be able to make stuff up on the fly. The thing about the really good guitarists, in my opinion, from like any genre, is that they actually care about the music enough to go ahead and compose something for that spot. And when they compose the thing, then it shows their ingenuity, it shows their craftiness, it shows how much they actually have concern about the piece. And you can also tell in a lot of cases, like especially from the 70s and 80s, whether or not they had a session guitar player doing it, or if they had somebody that was actually in the band that gave a shit. So, and the one I'm talking about in particular here would be like, you can tell that the Cars had a guitar player, that he was really a part of that. You can also tell that Steely Dan, as much as they were awesome, didn't. They did, but they didn't. So they had an awful lot of session players, and they did make some good stuff, but, you know, that's that. Christopher Cross, he was his own, you know, he was a guitar player. He played his own guitar parts. He wrote his own solos. They were good. Yeah, and the same goes for Pat Benatar, had session players. the leads in her songs suck. So you just can't tell, because it's like the guy comes in, all right, let's play, and they're on a time limit, right? There's only so much time that studios rented for, and every minute is money. You know, every second counts. So they go in, they hear a song. And then after that, you know, they'll just play something like, and then it's over. Why would you want to do that? You know, hire a guitar player. Let the guitar player write something crafty for the spot, and, you know, not just kind of wank it. Now, and that, not discounting the, you know, the kind of wankery that is well known in the 80s, but you can craft something that's really nice, that grabs attention, that's memorable. Then I think the memorability factor is where it's at. I'm not talking about, you know, that you can play 9,000 notes, but Gilmore can play one note and me knows 9,000. No, he can't. Just like Yngwie says, more is more. But I'm talking about crafting something that's memorable, that's you know, sonically, you know, pleasing, and that also inspires you to make more things like it. So Yngwie is totally the Mozart of guitar. I got to move the chats back over here. So yeah. Last I heard, sheeps bleated and deers do not, by the way. Everybody out there should try that. Just go all the way up. Oh, fantastic. So, let's see, how did that go? Is that the na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na? How did that go? Let me see if I can figure that out from memory, because it's been a long time. So, no. Yeah, something like that. No, I'm way off base. Way off base. It's all right. Good for you. Did you learn it by ear? That's a Randy Rhodesism. If you like your influences and want to sound like them, don't listen to your influences, listen to the influences of your influences. It's actually a really, really cool thing. Well, I have much more respect for you in the fact that you're trying to learn it by ear. So, yeah, I don't believe in tabs at all. So, so let's see. Something like that. You know, you can try the classic, you know. Yeah, that kind of thing. How did that last part go? I don't know. How I would go about it is try to hear the individual sounds in the chords. Most of us nowadays aren't really used to listening to, and I'm not referring to the band when I say this, but polyphony, which is multiple sounds at once. We're used to listening to like monophony. So you go ahead. Let's see, what is that called? So yeah, we're used to listening to things in like monophony and very simplistic harmonies, and we're used to hearing most of the things kind of go around. How you doing, Hoppy Boy? Come on over. Around like one general tonal center, but we're not also used to them, moving around and doing other things. So we could do Fury Elise, by the way. But something like that. The thing that I'm talking about, though, as far as like the classical cats, they all knew about this kind of stuff. And when we were, such a good boy. Anyway, yeah, he's my baby. So, come on up. Come on. Yes, you can. Come on, boy. Did you just want to watch me play guitar and be sad? But, they were used to listening to multiple tones at a time. And my idea for you is that you start also trying to do the same. And you can do it with yourself, a lot of people do. But just start laying your fingers down. What's the sound? Now, some people would say 9. I say sus2 because there's no 3. That's great. If we were to do 11, it's an 11 because there's no 3. But to try to start listening to the differences in tone, relative pitch. What they are and what they mean in the shape. Like this, it's not going to sound the same exactly. It's a 5th, by the way, but in this case there's a 6th. So let's do the 6 here. There's a 6th. There's a 6th. It's a major 6. Minor 6. Minor 6. So when I do this shape to me sounds the same wherever I play it. I know the notes are different. I can hear the pitch being not the same, but I know that relatively between these two notes that's roughly the right shape. Major 6 again. And you'll find, by the way, these all over the place in all sorts of music, but the way I'm playing them, ambient is king. So. I should just probably. And that note plants us in a key. If I did this, it would plant us also in a different key. But to me, yeah, they're lovely. They're just 6th chords. And they're not even 6 chords. They're just basic. What do you want to call that when you only have 2 notes? It's not a dyad. It's an interval. There's just intervals. So. Saturday night's all right for fighting. Well, Saturday morning is not quite all right for fighting. I always liked Flotsam and Jetsam's version of that, by the way, much better than the original. So it's oh, bless your heart, man. Right on. Chew that pine cone. Try not to bleat though. You're a deer after all. So. More intervals. This is a 6th. This is a 3. And a 3 to me is the same as a 6. One's a mediant and the other's a submediant on a technical level. They're there basically kind of in between your perfects. So you have a perfect 5th and that's your perfect 5th. What's right in between that? The median. It's right in the middle of it. And there's other ways. That's how I recognize it, and that's kind of true. But there's other ways to see it as well. So a sixth is right in. It's not totally. Excuse me. A sixth, major sixth in this case. It's a submedian. Is a fourth away, depending on which way you travel. It's also a fifth away from your perfect fifth dash octave. So if I did this would make more sense. If I did this, median, okay. Take that sixth, put it down an octave. It's a submedian. And it's right in between as well. So there's God's bleat is best. Well, so on top of the thing we were doing a little while ago, let's extend that, because that's kind of the idea. Oh, no, wait. I should finish the ear training thing. If you start recognizing intervals, you can start compounding intervals. So we have that. What if we have that in there? So that just makes an E minor chord, by the way. That's great. What if we change a few things around? So we can recognize this interval, a fifth, pretty easily. It's the whole... Row, you bastards! More common to do other shifts like So let's make a jazz row you bastards Viking tune. Goofing off, but you get the idea. That sound is very well known. Another sound that's very well known is the fifth, back to the root, which is a 4 to us. It does sound maiden. Actually, the band I was in 2001 that did that is called the Pirate Song, and it was a whole lot of yo type of stuff like that to it. But if you could think somewhere between Balsagoth meets Arcturus, that's where it was. So. That was it. Something like that. I've heard of them, but I don't really listen to modern music. But I've heard of them. See, the music that I think you're aware of that I listen to on the regular is Renaissance and Baroque, and that's pretty much it. So, sorry, dry Italian sausage. Oh, news of the weight loss. 12 pounds. I'm very happy about that. I'm beginning to see differences. Like I walk up to a door with my reflection, and I'm like, what the? Oh, it's me. So. Yeah, but I don't think they were around in 1625. Or died off around 1752. So. Only composer I like from the classical era really was Well, I like a lot of Beethoven. I don't like Beethoven like always, but I like a lot of Beethoven. But the classical era itself is very sing-songy. The whole Mozart thing, which I completely goofed there. All I'm thinking about is chewing. Yep. Something like that. Oh wait, I skipped ahead. Terribly. Rondo a la Turk. Rondoalaturk. So, oh, I'm skipping a step here. Let me get a different pick. So I just happen to have right in front of me. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I'm so used to transitioning from strings nowadays. I haven't played that in a long time. But strings like this, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, and so forth. I'm so used to doing that, I'm actually transitioning there, and I'm not used to picking in the other direction for this part. So, well, it is a good exercise. I've got a video in private. I'll send it to you. It's called Rondo a la Hillman. I was trying to get a friend of mine playing a bit more fluently, and I'm like, learn this! So I have a little tutorial on that. If anybody else wants it, that's on my Discord. I can send it to you too. So, but it was specifically for a guy named Kyle, and I had long hair at the time, so I look a little different. And I wasn't wearing pajamas. So, but this, I didn't even used to play that the same. I used to play like this. So this is just, and you repeat that like twice. Then you would go on with this. Oh God, that was right. You have to remember, you know, you can't just, you know, who said this? Tony McAlpine said that, you know, what's the hardest song, or what's the hardest thing you know how to play, and it's the thing that you're not very familiar with. So something like that. So the less familiar you are with a piece, the harder it is to play. So, oh, don't change the key. And then back to here. There is a little thing. That's spectacular. You can go right back to the... Yeah. So I just do it this. So I wouldn't be surprised if you wanted to use this as an exercise. It's very sly. I know. Well, let me practice again, and I'll get to you. But in the case of this little Mozart piece, I would practice that back in the day, 30 years ago. I would practice that. I would be practicing that, well, 25 years ago. That's almost 30. Half a half century. So, I would also practice just the... that kind of thing. So like just main melody to Jesus Joy of Man's Desire. And I did that because if you're doing strict alternate picking, it's a weird one. That's, you know, mostly 2 notes per string. It's not, but it's mostly like 2 notes per string. And if you start it the other way, it's just as hard. So, you know, it doesn't matter which way you go. If you're strictly alternate picking it, it has kind of this magical quality of helping you, kind of like this exercise, get to string crossings like that. It's pretty neat. Yeah, pinch harmonic to me is a natural harmonic, but I'll get to that. Let's start out with an open string. And just pick that. Place your finger gently atop fret 12. And I mean just barely touch it. That's a natural harmonic, right? Same with this one, that's 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, which is the same as the 4th fret, which is really close to the 4th fret. It's not actually on it. Right there. Then you can start going back and get more overtones. Isn't that nice? Ooh, that's high. Ooh, that's really high. Eventually it kind of stops because, there, it needs a little more oomph. Now, by the way, what I find is interesting is that the 17th fret is the same note as this fret and that fret, but it's twice as high as that one. So you can do neat things like, you know, and it's kind of cool. So this is how I would practice natural harmonics, just producing them. This will allow you to memorize the only touch you'll need. Pick the string open, and once you start to feel where the harmonic, you know, comes in. You hear the harmonic and you lift your finger up. You just let it do its thing. You can start just producing them. That was terrible. You see the point. So that's just... There's your natural harmonics. Two together are particularly neat. Let's see if I can do that. You'll get this nice little kind of transient tone in there that's pretty cool. Very keen, right? So, on with it. Yes, let's try it. Open note, 12th fret. Ah, well, don't mute it. Pick that, put your finger on it. Pick it with a finger, put your finger on it. Pull off with a finger, put your finger on it. Try not to let other strings ring. So this, boy, it really doesn't want to do it. I'll do it with this one. Just gently approach, and once you feel the string wiggle under your finger just a little bit, you're going to start to hear that pitch come in. Remove your finger. That's all you have to do. So when you are comfortable enough with how little you have to touch the string, it's a lot easier to do the rest of them. That does not want to ring out. Wants to ring out fine on its own. That's an A. Same. Low gain too. So here's something to kind of mess around with. Once you start to get these things down, you start to do other things that are like that or incorporate things like that. Like, keep in mind that if this is true, that open string, the 12th fret of that string, when open, produces a harmonic, that means any 12th fret from any note will also produce a harmonic. That touch with the left hand can be the same as the touch with the right. Case in point. You can even hit those harmonics by whacking them. See what I'm doing? Just hitting the string on the 12th fret produces that harmonic. I'm not tapping. I'm not adjacent to the fret. I'm not letting the fret hold the note. No, I'm tapping on the fret and I'm pulling up immediately. It's kind of a, as soon as you feel pressure here, as soon as you feel your self-impact, pull back real quick. That's hard because it's so close. See what I'm saying? So an artificial harmonic, so-called, is a natural harmonic produced by picking the string and then touching it almost immediately afterwards with this part of your thumb. Right there. Right there. So that, normal, if I were to pick and then touch my thumb to the spot where the harmonic's going to be, let's see here, that's it. It still produces that sound. And that's effectively what you're doing, just doing real fast. It doesn't actually pinch between the pick and the fat of your finger, you know, that little part right there, or the flesh of your finger, I should say. I guess it depends on how big we are, whether it's the fat or the flesh. But all that is to me a natural harmonic produced in the same fashion you would do anything else. It's just we didn't really understand the mechanics of it for years. So, oh, cigar, what's up? So, I never understood why people have problems on the low E strings. That's not a shot across the bow. Let me... It also helps to attack the strings at a bit of an angle. So if this is the string and I'm just picking, I can pick harmonics this way, but I'm probably going to angle my string and kind of graze the top of that string with pick, that is, angle the pick this way. And for me, it's easier to pick and hit that string at just the right spot to get that harmonic to chirp. And I'm literally hitting right there, by the way, affecting that harmonic after I picked it. So pick, harmonic. And you notice a lot of them are in similar spots, because up here, you notice how the frets get closer together? This, you have to move your pick just slightly to keep on the note. And they won't appear everywhere. That's why sometimes you hear things like semi-harmonic. Full harmonic. Semi-harmonic. Full harmonic. Full harmonic. Full harmonic. Semi-harmonic. Didn't quite catch. It's kind of like what they would talk about in the nuclear industry as a fizzle. So, I wouldn't say the nuclear industry. I'd say the nuclear bomb-making industry. Don't flag my channel. So, I'm not talking about death and destruction. I just did. Oh, no. So, well, at any rate, on with the story. So, as far as the harmonics are concerned, I think all harmonics are the same. I treat them equally. Some are, to me, the harder ones to do are like in this area, because there's not a lot of string movement here. And if there's not a lot of string movement, you're going to need some pretty damn powerful pickups to pick that kind of stuff up. It's the same stuff here. There are harmonics back here, just like there are back here. But because the string moves so little, it's really hard to pick up that note. And keep in mind that with harmonics, that's all we're really doing, is we are picking up on a node that naturally resonates right there at that frequency. In the string coursing back and forth several hundred times per second, or 1,000 in some, if it's like there, there's something that lives there. To try that out, you can do things like, well, something that I think everybody does once they learn how to do natural harmonics is like tremolo pick, and then start rolling their finger up and down here to find out where the nodes are. So you kind of hear that. Heck, people when they first learn stuff like that, they come up with stuff. I think there was a song that we did back in Mutiny called Mother Love that actually had something like that. Written by the drummer. He discovered harmonics. So I think it works pretty well, though. I mean, it was a neat song. I didn't really like the major thing. I like this, or this, or even, which much better. It's very metal. Never get rid of this amp. My God. All I'm saying is iron hearts are about the most versatile things out there if you like lead guitar. Fantastic. And it's not too brash or harsh. It just delivers the tone every time. That's just the rhythm channel, so with a boost on top of it. Its own. So let me find something for you there, Mr. Zuhair. Let's see. Content. Yes, I will search across content on my channel. HILMAN. There it is. If you're wondering what guitar I'm playing this on, I'm sending this to you now, by the way. Oh, you got a thing there. What's that? Google Drive link. Wow, what's this? Let's open that. Well, maybe I shouldn't open it on stream. Ah, yeah, I won't open it on stream. Promise. Sorry. But I'll get to it. But you now have the Rondo Alla Hillman clip. And like I said, anybody else who wants that, get a hold of me on Discord and let me know. I would be happy to get it to you. So how to play Rondo Alla Turk. And unfortunately, I did something kind of dumb. I think I explained myself enough. But I was doing this on a guitar with no fretboard inlay. So there's that. Maybe I should remake it for the masses. And this is Uli John Roth's version of it, by the way. So it's one of the first things I actually learned by ear. Successfully. And again, that was like 25, 30 years ago. It's whenever he released Transcendental Sky Guitar. I was listening to that and just was enraptured with it. That and, you know, what is that? And then he goes off some crazy, like, you know, type of thing. It's just amazing to listen to. He really does a great job. Uli is the maestro. So let's see here. Back into the streamy thing. Wherever the streamy thing may have gone. There is not the streamy thing. That is not it. I did not know I was German. I was full of surprises. Oh, there we are. That's not it. Actually, my mistake. So. Actually, one of the funniest things I did, my humble opinion. I'm sorry. You have to look at it. I do want to take a look at it, but I don't know if you want me to play that on air. So if you want me to, I will. I don't have a problem with that, but it's up to you. So I would be happy. See, now that is something that I would like to do like guitar teachers do. You know, you sit down with them and they say, I see a problem. Let's work on that. Then we can fix it. You know, try this instead. You know, give you ideas to proceed forward and give you accurate examples about things that you can do to help improve yourself. And by the way, I'm more of a coach than a teacher. I've always been more of a coach than a teacher. I want to be able to, okay, I will play. But the thing that I'm saying about the coach thing is that a coach doesn't tell you. I mean, it's less academic than you think. It's more along the lines of preparing you to be able to do the things that you want to do or need to do to win the game. You know, and there's no I in team. That's so crap because there is an I in win. And if you want to win, it's up to you as an individual. Sorry, I don't like team sports either. It's too, you know, communist. Individual, mano y mano. Yeah, that's where the fight really is. So, you know, it's up to you. But if more teams thought that way, they would all be better than what they are now. So, my humble opinion on sports. But heck, man, I think that if you have a quarterback and a fullback, you ought to have an eighth back and a double back. So, I mean, why are they being so mathist against you know, fractions? And all that kind of stuff. No, man. If you got a full back, have a double back. You got a tight end, why not have a loose end? So let's make things even. You know, I like symmetry. So it's like on World of Warcraft, you have stable masters. That means somewhere out there must be an unstable master. So, well, at any rate, on with this show. So let's go ahead and play that. And for those of you tuning in, this is Zuhair and his harmonics. Let's open that up, like I said before, and play. You're doing good, man! So one of the things that you're not really doing is trying to find the note with your right hand. So this is causing some problems with some of them not really coming through. You're not really moving your hand around. So let's get into some detail here regarding the whole, you know. And if you want, I can turn off my delay and the reverb and stuff like that. It's not helping it, but you know, don't think that it does. It's just coloring the sound. that hand around, the right hand, just a little bit. So you'll hit the one that you want to hit. Like if you're playing Randy Rhoads, for instance, that whole thing with the... excuse me. You have to hit the right harmonic. You can't just go... You know, it doesn't work. No? It's still a semi-harmonic. That's it. Well, it depends on the fret, and there are also several nodes underneath everything. So, like, watch this. Actually, yes, watch this. If I do this, and picking is no different. It doesn't really have as much sound as if I were exactly 12 frets up. But it doesn't work here anymore. Totally a semi-harmonic. You can do the same with this. I don't have much of a stretch yet. I'm affecting fifth fret harmonics. So, and because that's a... That's kind of hard to do, but because I'm moving my hand around, the nodes are changing spots. So they're always away. I mean, and I'm not going to say try to memorize it. What I'm going to say is become familiar with it and understand kind of the proximity and where some of these things live. Move your right hand around. Anytime, literally. Well, unless I'm asleep or in the shower or at work. That might be a little more difficult. But anytime I'm not doing those three things, or in the bathroom, that would probably be weird. So anytime I'm not doing those four things, I'd be happy to go ahead and reflect upon, you know, if somebody, you or anybody else want to send me a video of what you're doing and have me go ahead and do, you know, the whole scrutiny thing and see if I can come up with something that can help develop you. I'd be happy to do that. And by all means, if you got tips for me, I'll take them too. So it's not like, I mean, we are all in this together and nobody makes it out alive. So, you know, we might as well share as much information as we can while we can, you know. See, this is like, you know, I've got some balloons, right? I'm walking down the street. I've got like, you know, let's say 80 balloons. And, you know, I've collected some balloons over the years. There's a kid over there. The kid says, I want a balloon. I'm like, yeah, you have a balloon. Because I've got plenty of balloons, right? What's the harm in giving the kid a balloon? And that's not trying to call you all children. I'm not. I'm just saying I've got advice to give. And I'd be happy to collect more. And at the same time, if somebody needs some, I'll give some away. It's not like I'm really losing advice when I give it out, you know? I mean, I can always make... It's like when an electron... we have what is that? A quantum leap between states. You know, from let's say from any other state to the ground state, it's going to release a photon. It never runs out of photons. They're always, you know, it's a mechanism by which the photon is produced. It's not my fault. You know, let's say an exciting photon passes the electron, has it leap up into, you know, the first. First of three orbits, so you can do I think three, but first there, and then it's fine. All right, it loses that energy after a matter of time and collapses. It releases a photon. It's a simple thing. So, well, you know what? This is why I brought in the sausage, because I have not eaten breakfast yet. I got some steak and chicken and some bacon, and then I got to go to the store and buy some more stuff. But this is my hold off stopgap. But yes, by all means, make bacon. Bacon and some tea, which darn it, I really like Earl Grey when it's hot. It's very Picard of me, I know. Tea Earl Grey hot. Yeah, but I can't do a Picard impression. I can do a much better William Shatner impression, which kind of comes off more like Christopher Walken. Could you imagine if Christopher Walken played James T. Kirk in one episode, like anyway, it's just like made a movie. So what's for breakfast anyway? I'd love to know. And how's the playing? That's it. There we go. Okay. I got to remember that at some point in the future. I might have to do a full cover of Turn Up the Radio. I already did a cover of The Lead a long time ago, back in 2020. I was like, you know what? I can play that. I'm sure of it. Sat down and learned it. I actually went for help on that one, too. I went ahead and I watched Ben Eller's whole thing about it, and I don't think he's 100% right on all of it. So that's the thing. Other guitar players can find, no matter how much research they do, the wrong ways. Me too. The wrong ways to do things. Only the people who actually did it, are really going to have bratwurst and cream cheese. Dude, I miss bratwurst. I can't have it right now because even though I'm on the cheese, good, cream cheese. Oh God, yes, wonderful. But in fact, that reminds me of like the Olympia dog. I'll explain that in a second. But the whole thing with bratwurst is there's wheat in there, and I can't have any of that. Right? It's basically just, you know what? Meat and fat deposits. That's what I can have. I can have meat and I can have fat. That's it. So I'm going to, Jones just a little bit. You know what's been driving me nuts though on this? So I think today's like 36. No, 28, 31. I was close, 35. The thing that's really starting to get me on this though is that every time I see like an oatmeal raisin cookie, the kind that really aren't good for you, that's made with like high fructose corn syrup, the kind that you find like grandma's cookies, not like your grandmother made, but the ones that you find in the package in the store. I look at that and I go, ooh, like I really, take care of yourself, Zuhair. And do take a look at the Rondo Alla Hillman clip I sent you. I think you'll find it particularly fascinating with the whole... really forces you to concentrate on your rhythm. It really forces, this part in particular too, really forces you to concentrate on your rhythm and what your right and left hands are actually doing for synchronization purposes. And it'll make me concentrate on trying to transition between those two phrases. Ha! Well, at any rate. So yeah, the bratwurst, man, I miss bratwurst. So the Olympia dog, right? Olympia had its own official hot dog from a very, very good street vendor. It actually occupied like a very small corner shop. I'll show you. But it occupied a very small corner shop in downtown Ole, which turned into a infested rat hole. It's terrible. So bums everywhere. It's awful. It's a real awful thing. So what I was going to say, what is that? Oh, yeah, I can close all that. What I was going to say is that I'll give you a small tour of a town not too far from me, the capital city of Olympia. This little shop, maybe I should actually do this first so you can see what I'm seeing here. Sharing the screen, welcome to wet Western Washington, also relatively blustery wet Western Washington. The worst is over, so that's kind of nice. It's going to die down from here, which is really cool because there's projects for today that I got to talk about. So scrolling on down here, let's go to Ole, shall we? From here, this looks like a gooey duck. Really, it's just the lowest extent of Puget Sound, and people used to swim in this, and then it got like a very, very toxic algae starting to grow in that, and ever since then, it's been like, yeah, it's just toxic. You can't get in there if you want to. Yay for ecological preservation. They preserved the toxic algae, much to the chagrin of the people and the wildlife that used to be able to use it. There's still lots of ducks and geese. What is that? Bird cobras. Going down here, though. Downtown Ole. We're going to 4th Avenue. So, oddly enough, there are street names here that make total sense. We have 4th Avenue, 5th Avenue, 6th Avenue, all that kind of stuff. Adjacent to, but running the opposite direction of 4th Avenue, because for the last 30 years, 35 years, they've been one-way streets. Beforehand, it wasn't, and it actually worked really, really well. But now they've calmed up traffic by making one-way streets where they have no business doing that. So anyway, and made parking worse as a result of it as well. So if we go down here, let's see here, 4th Avenue, somewhere around here. Let's get my bearings. Oh, we're way off. I'm sorry. I'm taking you guys to the wrong spot. So here's the bus barn. That's State Street, 4th Avenue. And then they got the names of like presidents. They've got Jefferson, Lincoln, all that kind of stuff like that. So let's pop on down here, and we'll go to the Lacey Music Store, and then we will go to here. Yeah. Lacey Music Store. Not Lacey, excuse me, Olympia Music Store, downtown Olympia. Very, very cool shop. They actually run like both sides of this thing here. It used to just be you go in here, but now they own this too. And there's just guitars all over the place. And I bought my 12 string there. But they've got a lot of really cool gear. They do kind of lean towards classic stuffs. I buy picks there, buy strings there, good stuff. It's not Music 6000, but it's pretty cool. And this is the last place I actually received a speeding ticket. Not a speeding ticket. I wasn't speeding. I was parking. So I haven't got a speeding ticket in 19 years. So amazing. But going on, and I'm very happy about that. Used to be every 3, and then it just stopped. So I stopped speeding, mostly. So, unless I'm passing you. So going on with the story, if we go down this way, when was this taken also? This is like a nice day in May. Let's see. We go downtown a little bit further here, and we go 1 block up. Whoa, too far. But not quite too far. So right in here, I think it was right there, there used to be a very, very small, it was right in here somewhere, hot dog joint. And that hot dog joint, you could have brat, you could have Polish sausage, you could have all sorts of stuff, but they specialized in particular types of dogs, and they were fucking good, man. They were really, really good. Welcome to Meth Sunfireville, by the way. But one of the ones that they had was called the Olympia dog, and the Olympia dog was I'm a block away. I'm in the wrong spot completely. I'm sorry. I'm just giving you a tour of everything but the right spot. There it is. That was it right there. It no longer exists. It's been closed because of, crime and general scummery. But 2023 was probably the last time it was alive. But we used to go there all the time, and they would cash only, which is why there's an ATM right next to it, so they get money from you either way. But get yourself a hot dog there. And the Olympia dog had cream cheese on it, and we were all like, "What? Cream cheese? Holy crap, it's amazing." So I just got to say, man, it's really, really, really good. No reason not to like it. It's fantastic stuff. So you live at Smoky Point. Do you really? Well, I will show you where I'm located, but first I'm going to find Smoky Point. We might have to get together. Dang, all right. So you are way farther north than me. I am here. So, but I think that, at some, you're like, hi, Bellingham, you're right practically there. So Seattle for me is about a 2-hour drive. If the traffic is good, to go to Smoky Point would take me beyond Everett even. Holy crap. Wow. Yeah, you're way up there. But, I don't, man, you're practically a neighbor. You're a 4-hour drive away, but you're still practically a neighbor. I don't know, because you could equate like 6-hour drive from Olympia, for instance, to Spokane, 6 hours away. And with, typical Seattle traffic, I would say you're about 3 hours probably away, but it could be as far as 4 because you are pretty dang close to Bellingham. So, yeah, right on, man. So let's see. Let's go find your house. So, yeah, I got an airport. That's cool. I like airports. Airports are great. It's got trainers. All right, very cool. Very cool, in fact. So, all right, let's see. It looks like a nice little community. Let's see. Got a lot of trees. Oh my God, that's awesome. So, yeah, I'm in Shelton. I wouldn't say by choice, but as far as bang for buck was concerned, on buying a house, that you got much more bang for the buck. So our house is a 2-story, built in 1928. We have 3 lots. Sorry, 1926. It's 100 years old next year. Oh my God. But yeah, I'm literally here. So it's a nice little place. Actually, it's got some really cool stuff around it. You see this track right here? This is where the State Patrol trains to drive. Wait, it gets better. See this track right here? This is a publicly accessible track called The Ridge. And on summer days, some are wet, some are not. That's how we judge our summer. And they have a exact duplicate and mirror, by the way, down here for go-karts. But it's really cool to drive to work. If I was still working the 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. shift, just about every summer day, especially around Saturdays, that I would be driving to work, I would see so many exotic cars that ain't funny. Oh, look, a Bugatti. Oh, look, a Pagani. Oh, look, it's and it's just fun. They're all commuting back from the Ridge, going back to Seattle. Oh, look, a Lamborghini. Just pick your poison. It's pretty awesome. So. But I'm a fan, by the way. This whole thing, or either way you want to practice it, is great. I'm a fan of being able to play things. If you can play it forward, you should be able to play it backwards. Which is not as easy, especially if you're trying to do that. And you've got your fingers trained. See, I want to do other notes that aren't there. Which is a little George Lynch-ish, I guess. But yeah. Oh my God. So that's something kind of neat. It's not a really, spectacular technique or anything, and it's all in triplets, of course. But this, I'm just going down here, essentially creating kind of a 7th arpeggio, because if you take the notes of an A or an E minor chord, yeah, and put a C down there, it becomes a C major 7 shape. So this keep the same shape down here and tap 1 fret up, keep hitting that C instead of the B, and you'll have a regular major arpeggio shape, which is kind of nice. So and if I did something to mute these strings down here, you wouldn't hear a lot of that, which would clean things up a whole lot. It would be much nicer. But I'm not doing that. Ew! So, projects for the day. I'm gonna have 2 more pieces of this. I just bought this sausage yesterday. It's already gone. It's really good. Just, nice dry sausage. What does it constitute? Meat and fat. Done. So, healthy part of this nutritious breakfast. Let's go back to full screen, shall we? Hello, look at this. Chat in there. That's pretty neat. Main. All right. So, I have my Super 70s from Guitar Part Zone to install. And that little purple Mamba Jamba back there. Well, purpley blue right there where the thumb is pointing. I got to pull that together and make it live. I also had a plan, but the weather isn't exactly great, and my garage is not insulated. In fact, it's kind of wide open. So I like to go out there in good weather. But I plan on making a riser for my my monitors, which is also going to necessarily change the angle of the camera, because the camera is literally on top of monitor number 1. 2. So left, right. And but I'm gonna make a riser for that. It'll also make a lot more room for a lot of stuff that I've got up here, which is really, really good. Space is at a premium. It's a 1-level desk. I made it myself. So here's the thing: if I get that done, I'll go out to the shop and get this done. But the thing that I've got to really work on once I get that done is trying to figure out how to bastardize 70s tunes, like that whole. Type of thing. I gotta figure out a way to do that. You know, I gotta make up a bunch of 70s sounding stuff, but my idea is, because it's super 70s, the advertising kind of what it is, but I want to show what Alnico 4s can really do, because they are also extremely good for thrash. So what I want to try to do is combine some weird stuff, like, you know, I don't know, something. I gotta write it now, but you know, still something. And then all of a sudden in the middle of it, and then right back to, I might actually use that. Type of thing, but without all the delay and stuff like that on it. But yeah, I want to kind of combine genres. You know, hit a little bit of. So about the Easter Bunny, I got a cool story about that. Picture yourself at 3 years old. You're 3. You still think there's an Easter Bunny. You don't really know. I mean, it could be your folks, but you're 3. You have no internet. We had 9 channels maximum on TV. We didn't even have cable yet. My aunt and uncle were staying at our house until they saved up enough, which is sounding familiar because we're doing this with my daughter and son-in-law right now, so they could save to buy a house. And they did, and you know, within 2 years they had their own place. But not my kids yet. They've got a year and a half to go. But my aunt and uncle did. But my uncle comes running into my room. It's Easter morning. He's like, Kirk, come on out. The Easter Bunny's out there. The Easter Bunny's out there. And I go out, and of course my uncle is very fast. So he goes out much faster than I do. And then back to the living room. And I'm just kind of running out. You know, I'm still not awake yet, but I'm, you know, running out. I remember this vividly, though. I'm running out towards the living room, and he runs past where the living room intersects with the kitchen, intersects with the hallway. And he's like, he just went out the back. Shoom. And he ran out the back. And he's like, come on, you can see him. And so he ran out the back, and I run towards the back. And by the time I get to the back, he's like, oh, he's gone. You missed him. And I believed, man. I believed so hard in the Easter Bunny after that. I'm just like, I know he exists. I almost saw him. My uncle almost, you know. But, you know, that's what uncles do. They're supposed to do shit like that. It's great. So, yeah, that was my Easter Bunny story. Yeah. Otherwise, we could talk about chocolate eggs and the color of the cross and stuff like that. You know, how it's actually Ishtar and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, no, it's great, isn't it? So. The Easter Bunny was almost caught. I can't sing and play at the same time. Oh, actually, that's interesting. So, a little more stuff. The delay pedal that I ordered will be here Monday. Probably while I'm actually streaming on Monday. It'll arrive. Ooh, I got shit on my head. You know where all this is from? Some weird disease. No, it's from the fleece under here. But nevertheless, so it should arrive Monday. That's good. I'm already looking at a replacement. And tell you about that. So I think I'm becoming a pedal snob. The Slotva has really kind of said, "Hey Kirk, you know, this is pretty amazing stuff. You have to pursue this." Okay. So what do I need to pursue? The sounds that I keep hearing that I really want to hear. All right. So there's the Strymon Timeline, which is unbelievably absurdly expensive, but I like it a lot. And it has the sounds that I'm hearing that I want to hear. You know, it's replicated pretty well in the Rabea plugin, the Archetype Rabea and the Archetype Pliny. They both have their kind of own version of the timeline, and it sounds great. I want to make that sound here. Okay, well, what else do I have? All right, if the Strymon is priced out of, well, I mean, I could probably get it, but what I'm suggesting though is that I don't want to spend that much. I like cheap things. It's the Boss DD500 can sound a lot like a Strymon, and it's on top of it, you know, it's like $150 cheaper. You know, new, and therefore it's $150 cheaper used as well. So I can get a used one for like $200. I would love one, and I might have to get it if the Emanator doesn't really give me what I'm wanting. So if it does right out of the box, great. We're gonna have to find that out when we get there. Play some things. I might have to have wood to build that riser. Pretty easy. It's like a slab plus things that are cut equally on both sides. Pocket holes, which I have that jig out there somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. But if I find the jig, pocket holes, you know, connect everything to everything else, raise stuff up, clean the whole desk out, raise it up, put the things back in proper order, and everything will be happy and good. Back to the tunes. I really like the chill tones that I had earlier on, man. Maybe I should actually get busy too. You know, shower, shave, all that kind of crap. Although I've already shaved and showered. I have? I have. Yeah. I'm not just some scummy bum. That's a lovely sound. not so much on the playing department today. Let's try that here. So I was saying the other week that I discovered something on accident the other, year that was kind of interesting. That was, if you're not tapping on any real frets, that it kind of mutes the string. Kind of, it does. It mutes the string. It almost acts like a kill switch. So if I'm doing things like this, and I think about doing things like this, which is just extending it up, and instead of tapping up here, I do that back here, there's an interesting effect. More gain usually would probably help with that. Otherwise, so again, interesting, isn't it? Just mute the string. Put your finger on the string that you're going to tap, but don't tap a real note. But, you know, it can only go so far. It's more just kind of like one of those self-entertaining things, like taking a pencil and rolling it back and forth between your hands and being fascinated by it. It's the same type of thing. And it's not hitting a note. Now, it could be confused as a finger pick, but it's not. It's not anything when you do it like that. Otherwise, I'm just goofing, of course, but you get the general idea. I almost hit something. Do I use instrumentals to covers when it comes to drums, or make them? So when I do covers, I really actually just put the real original track in the mix, but I always have my guitars 3 dB higher. So no matter how many guitars I have those set kind of to either 1 or 2 channels depending, and because I'll have them like nested. So if I lay down like 6 guitar tracks and they're all like rhythms but for different textures, I'm going to put those under a single folder for where the effects are going to be. Like if there's any reverb or anything like that, that's pretty much where those are going to live. And everything else is like, you know, where the panning is in that, and I mix them to that one specific extra folder. So you got folder here as the master track, and the rest of it is just kind of like, well, mix track. It's the mix bus. So I have everything else mixed underneath that. This will live 3 dB higher than the original track. And then I run a compressor limiter over the top of both of them to not necessarily equalize volume completely, but to raise the overall volume with my stuff being just a little higher. If I'm doing originals, I use 3 different drum programs. So, oh, they've done it before. They have blocked it. I'm not afraid of it, because if you know how to fight it, most of the time you'll be okay. But my channel's not monetized anyway, and so those would never be monetizable. And you know what I'm hoping for is that one of these days somebody will. Oh, hey there, how you doing? We'll see. But what I was saying about that, I'm not concerned, because the very first video I ever posted to YouTube on this channel was a cover of SATO and Diary of a Madman, and it was blocked globally. And I was like, oh, I guess I can't do any Ozzy covers. A couple of years later, I got the urge to do it. So I covered Steal Away the Night. Yes, yes, hello. So let's see what you got there. The LT25. Is that an amp? Cool. So I did Steal Away the Night. I never remember it if I haven't played it right away. That's it. Great tune. Got blocked globally immediately. It is a bass amp. Cool, man. Good for you. Well, if your acoustic has like piezios or piezos, I just call them piezo. If they have piezo, forget about it. If they have those newfangled electronic piezo pickups, it should work just fine. And I'm out of tea. Sad day. I still have my Earl Grey in the other room, and it's probably cold by now. Dear me. But no, otherwise I'm not afraid. In fact, why don't I show you this? This might be intriguing to you. All of my stuff is listed as guitar cover, so I'll just, I'll look up guitar cover in my YouTube studio, or just cover, and hit go. Show all. All right, so all of these are covers, and there's a difference between a copyright strike and just claim of copyright content. Again, I'm not monetizable, and I don't think the majority of the content of my show meaning like this. I mean, this might be monetizable at some point in the future. I don't know. There's not enough watch hours to really make that happen. I qualify in every other metric, but not watch hours, so that's not probably going to happen. But if they are, I will never make money from these anyway. These are... Hello?
Kirk is just such a badass. You know? What? Such a cool dude.
Oh, there it is now. It's moved. So every single one of these have copyright restrictions, right? Except for the Diary of a Madman guitar cover, which is weird. Why is that weird? Because this was globally blocked when I released it. After I fought the copyright, I won. There's no copyright claim now. Nuclear Assault does not claim or block. You're fine. Everybody else, there's, ownership restrictions and whatnot. It basically just means that it's not monetizable to me. There's a lot of stuff, interestingly enough, that I've done that I haven't released to the public, like this one, which is There's No Easy Way Out, from Rocky IV. Hilarious, but still. And this was, while I was doing, let's see, I was actually in the process of building the white Strat. But yeah, this is actually going to claim my shit here right now too. But I'll just let it play the first thing. This is one of the reasons why I didn't really release this. I mean, I did kind of, but this was fun to play. I always wanted to learn it. And I wanted to learn the lead, and the lead is actually weird. It's a fun one. So let's see. Weird meaning it's not as flowing as what we're used to. That jump there, that's really interesting. Nobody does that. They did it. But that was fun. It was fun to play. But it's partially blocked. Everywhere you see something that says partially blocked, guess where it's partially blocked? I mean, you don't have to. I could just tell you, of course. We get down to here. Some places can't see it. Where? Russia. Every fucking time. It's Russia. It's partially blocked in Russia. You can't see it if you live in Russia. Get a VPN. You'll be fine. But, there's another partially blocked one, Joe Satriani Echo. Where is it blocked? Let's go check it out. Copyright. Right there. Visibility. It cannot be seen in some territories. I know about this shit. Excuse me very much. So, where is it blocked on behalf of Epic? Where? I want to see where. I don't want to take action. It used to tell you where. Where the hell is it? Where is it gone? It used to tell you straight up. Can't be seen in some territories. Right. Which ones? Well, they used to tell you Russia. Every time. Russia doesn't like music. So, and they don't like other people playing other people's music for sure. So, but all of these are covers. Some of them don't have copyright at all. SATO, because I fought it. Nuclear Assault, When Freedom Dies. They don't claim you. Steal Away the Night. Again, nothing because I fought it. No copyright on the Eek the Cat theme. Thank God. Heathen copyright. And it's all just like, hey, somebody else actually owns this music. I'm like, hey, I get it. I don't have a problem with that. You know, because they wrote it. It's theirs. All I'm doing is saying that I can play it. That's it. Or, hey, I figured this out. None on King Diamond's Victimized cover. Very interesting to me. Let's see. Copyright claim on The Wait. No copyright claim on Death Clock, Crush My Battle or Opponent's Balls, whatever. Merciful Fate, yes. Nuclear Assault, nothing. Partially blocked. Iron Maiden, where? Russia. So again, I'm not even kidding. Some places like Brazil, I've seen before as well. But this is like every cover I've ever done, and I've done a lot of them. You know, and every once in a while you get just blocked. And if you're a huge British act like Iron Maiden or Ozzy or somebody else, you know, globally blocked for Ozzy, but you know, somebody else that's like usually it's Russia. It's always Russia. I don't know why it's always Russia, but it is. It's always Russia. Death, Flattening of Emotions guitar cover. Apparently that was good enough to not get a copyright strike. The metal cover here, there's none because I kind of made it up. And this, you'll never see. My Ghost Rats cover. This is the first one I did after going blind. And then after that, it's been just other stuff ever since. So I'm really used to this. And it basically is just like, hey, you're playing other people's music. And when you do this, sometimes it's like the claim doesn't restrict your video at the moment. Oh, leaving it open for something later on. All right, great. What about this one? Oops. What about this one? See details. Doesn't restrict it at the moment. Well, they've changed their wording. It didn't used to be at the moment. It's like, you're fine. Everything's cool. There is other ones though. Let's go back to the first page. I've done 88 covers. Holy shit. That's a lot. Let's see here. See the details on victim. What is that? Aimon belongs to them. Claim doesn't affect my video at the moment. Again, things have changed regarding this. They used to just say, it's fine. This is not a strike. There's a difference, blah, blah, blah. Now it looks like they're trying to impose language. Yeah, that's interesting. See details. Can't be seen in some territory, but what territories? Ah, there it is. So, it's visible in all these, but it's blocked in Russia. What was I telling you? Blocked in Russia. Always blocked in Russia. Such a bunch of crap. But thank you, Japan, for the 3.2% that you've given me, and Brazil for the 1%. Canada, just stay where you are. We're coming to help. And the United Kingdom, fantastic. More Brits, please. That's just great. Let's go ahead and go back to main, and let's go back to live streaming content. Okay. Oh, the Victimized cover. Yeah, dude, that was a labor of love, and I screwed up the Andy's lead so bad in some places. I got to tell you, I was really like, if I didn't have to have it out now, because I didn't feel like I was ready to have it done on Halloween. So I put it out November 1st of that year. I mean, I did it anyway. I'm like, it's a month of Halloween. Let's keep going. And so I put it out November 1st of that year. And I'm happy with most of it overall. But I'm not happy with the tone I got for Andy, or for Andy's lead. And I'm not happy with myself screwing up a couple of times on Andy's lead. The rhythms sound good. Do you know why? I was getting wrong lead tones for a while on a lot of the Andy and Pete stuff. It's because I was not sure what sound I was supposed to be going for. I knew that Andy pretty much just used like Metaltronics or Lee Jackson modified Marshalls essentially, along with a tube screamer like a TS-808, one of the original ones, and that was through like vintage 35s or vintage 30 speakers. I don't know where the 5 came in, 65 maybe, but anyway, it was using vintage 30s. And that's the Andy LaRocque sound. I know he used PJ Marks pickups at the time, but he also used Seymour Duncan at the time. He still uses Seymour Duncan distortions, for instance. Although I really think that the Seymour Duncan Screamin' Demon, ergo the Demon from Guitar Part Zone, it's the spitting image of the sound that he used to have. That's it. That's the Andy sound. But at any rate, I'm going on with the story because I think it's kind of important to know that for that album, and I think for them, they didn't use that for the leads. Do you know what they used? I bet you'd be fascinated to find out what they used. A Gallon Kruger practice amp. The GK ML250, which was a 100-watt practice amp with little speakers. You can still get them today for like $600. Used, of course. They don't make them anymore. But they're not the only ones that used it. Everybody was using them. Van Halen used it as a practice amp. Iron Maiden actually used them in studio for the entire Somewhere in Time album. Chuck Schuldiner used to mic one on the Human tour with empty, basically Marshalls that were on, didn't use them, and cabinets that were empty just to keep the look. They were very popular. And for good reason. Apparently they sound amazing. Now, Andy still used his tube screamer plugged into the front of that just to give it the sound. But that mic'd up with a 57, that's the sound I've been looking for this whole time. So now that I know what to go for, I can cater my sound, I can curtail my sound and make it just a little closer to the GK sound instead of the Marshall sound. It makes me happy that I can understand the difference. That's the thing. But have a target. What does that sound like by itself? Okay. And what it sounds like in the mix is exactly what you need to hear. So, I'm not totally satisfied because Andy always had kind of a whistling sound, in my opinion. I can't do it with this. I mean, that's kind of a close thing. Very loud, but every time he starts... Every time he starts to do his thing, it just kind of sounds like a whistle. But all of the notes when they're struck are pure and loud and beautiful. Yeah, the GK does that. It actually does that. So for the rhythms, they did use the Marshall stuffs, but not for the leads. Not for the leads. Very cool. But yeah, there are some things about the Victimized lead that I was really happy about. The leads, plural, but Andy's in particular, because it's my favorite. From them, that's like... Not them, it was, of course, off of Conspiracy, but that was like my favorite lead of all time. That whole... That was perfect! Just along with it. I actually forgot. It's been 2 years. Almost 3. So. Yeah, again. Pulls your soul out and just kind of sits it down in a chair and says, this is what it's all about. How tones interact with one another. This, I believe we actually ended on F sharp, but the whole thing together was... Maybe it was. That's it right there. That's where it is. Yeah. Right, the first one. What a sound. Dude, choice notes. Choice notes are so important. There are other guitar players out there that have done choice notes like that in the past. There's great examples. Peter Frampton, for instance. I think that I actually have some advice for Zuhair. I'll have to mention this to him later, but I don't think that he's treating each note as if it's the most special note in the world. That's something that I think is kind of... Really, each note needs to be played for all of its worth. And even if you're just glancing by, you still need to hear them. It's important to be able to hear them. And it's important to be able to, discern, all right, was that a minor or a major? It's not just the first and last syndrome where it's... But every single note. You get it all. So it's important. So that, I think, is something that I should work on with him in the future. This is a good idea. best combo. Yeah, of all the combos they've had, and I mentioned this before when I did the Loa House. Fun. I still remember that, mostly. Right. Anyway, so hey, what's up, Chris? So, and actually, the victimized cover is how that guy and I met, right there. So, but yeah, as I mentioned there, I think the other favorite that I have had, you know, as far as like guitar pairs in King Diamond is concerned, would be Hank Sherman. But it took him a while to get there because at first I really didn't think that he was a good match. He was playing things distinctly different on purpose from Andy. So when Andy's doing his normal, you know, type of thing, he would start down here and just... The problem with doing that in the lead is if the rhythms are down there too, it's going to be harder to hear what either of them are doing. As rhythmic as you can be with it, the lower you're playing, the lower your frequencies, the more they start intermixing and intermingling with other frequencies. So it's kind of a problem. Oh yeah, you could say precise if you want, but I think though it's steel on steel, right? You know, one putting yourself up against other musicians. It's not against, by the way. You're playing with other musicians, but you know, the whole competition thing. You're competing with yourself. And if someone else, I don't know. Let's talk about constructive teamwork, because everything is a form of interference. When you come up against somebody else, or when you come up with somebody else, either way, there will be an interference pattern between you two, and it'll either be constructive or constructive, or excuse me, constructive consonant or destructive dissonant. And so, you know, one may bring out more toxic attributes than another. And one may make you a better player and the other will not. But, I mean, it really, really depends on that kind of thing. So, well, I wouldn't suggest that this is a mild interruption. I would say that he was playing a lot of fast notes. You just couldn't really hear them because, this is Spider's Lullaby in particular. He was playing a lot of fast notes. You couldn't really hear them because he was playing them down low, and the rhythm lives in that space. So if you want to come apart from the rhythm, there are things that you have to do. You know, a low pass filter. You're going to get rid of a lot of the lows, for instance. You're going to have to bring up your mid-range and your highs a little bit to try to stand out. And the lower you go, while you've got like tones, rhythmically speaking, while you're doing... there's going to be a lot of washout. You're not really going to be able to determine exactly what's being done. So it's kind of like, well, either way, you know, the way I see it is that you know, if there is a rhythm going on, don't play leads where the rhythm is. If you're doing lead parts with the rhythm, like Mr. Scary, you know, that kind of thing, that's fine. But notice that this keeps going while he's doing his, you know, playing that in a different spot. However, I did that. I've never really learned the song. I'm just kind of, you know, vamping. You get the idea. But stay away from where this is. Do other things. And what you're doing as a guitar player for the lead work, most of the time, is you're substituting for something that is no longer there, and that's the vocals. You want to try to occupy approximately the same space. So, oh, I see. Well, you know, space in music. Led Zeppelin, I think, they did like hard left-right panning, where you had the drums and guitar like over here, and the bass and the vocals over here, something like that. I haven't really listened that hard in a while. Most of the time it's in the car and it's just with like Cashmere. Now, how did that go? could play this a whole lot differently. Let's play it backwards. Why not? Just 'cause we can. Actually, that's something I could probably do. Because 70s? 70s. How did I go? Oh. I don't remember how that went. Anyway, yes. The one that starts this way. There's just something fantastically moving about that. Oh, that's it. So, I figured it out. That's it. That would be off of, what the hell was that? I'm also kind of partial to the intro to The Invisible Guests. It's got this really neat. Oh, that's it. Harmony. That was it. I haven't played it since Halloween. What's that? Yeah. I don't remember. Hold on. That was it. Oh, no. That's pretty key. You could also do... Which I think I did. So, yeah. Yes, Broken Spell. That's it. So... Something like that. Yes. There's a lot of really cool shit to that, so. Yeah, something like that. Oh, yeah. So, Bye Missy. Let me turn to some rhythm here. Real good lead rhythm thing. All right. Maybe turn down my... there we go. Turn down my delay just a hair. There we go. Better. It's better. Accusation chair. That's it then. Thanks, man. Anyway. It's a lot of delay in the signal. Give me a second. There's no delay in the signal now. I have to do this. You tell me about it. Now, I believe this is what you were talking about before, about the King Diamond thing that sounded like this. So this part, you'll recognize this from the Loa house. That something like that. Oh no, that wasn't the Loa house. Oh my god. Brain is not braining today. Father Picard. That old. Yeah. So this. Those are only really separated by one note. For Bye Bye Missy. For the Loa house. Very similar. So, anyway. Run a little exercise. Played an octave higher. Anyway, yes. Twisted as all get out. Extremely evil. Beautiful riff. Oh my god. Oops. Yeah, what is that? Oh, yeah. No, it's A. Yeah. That's it. That's crazy riffing, man. That's really great. Yes, thank you very much from Father Picard. Yeah, there are similarities. There are definitely similarities. Again, one note different. And that one note is either an F sharp or an E. Or an F sharp and an E. Or an F sharp and an F sharp, depending on what you're doing there. So, yeah, that's like my favorite tune from King entirely. I mean, if I was to summarize all of my King Diamond stuff, I don't know, man. There's an awful lot of good stuff in like that whole... How did that go? That's right. Then, of course, technically, it's two things. Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. I can't freaking do it, but you get it. He does a great job. The whole album was fantastic. But, yes, this... Boy, it's been a while. But the other way of doing that... That's very important to do. Actually... No! Holy God. Ah. So that's interesting. I can tell you this straight up. This, relatively easy. The rhythms are weird behind that. Right before you go to the chorus, this A bass turns to an E. So it's something like that. That's it. I'll tell you in a second. A, F, A, F, C, D. A minor. Just like Stairway. But not Stairway. A minor. Followed by F, but it's, you're not playing the F, F. But it's just like a C major chord off the 8th fret of the A string. But with no F. So you take that finger off. And there what you have is essentially an F major first inversion. Mostly. The next one is A, again. You bring this same chord shape up 2 frets. And that's a G, but without the G. Starting there. That's G. You're adding that note to the top. That's, you can do this if you want, but I don't hear that low note. I hear this. So, C, D. There you have it. Those are the chords in the verse. And if you notice what my picking hand is doing, and it's a straight push down. Now, a lot of people aren't used to that. If you're having problems with that, an easy way to get there is the Four Horsemen. Down, up, down, 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 up, down. That's the way you'd get there. So it's the same type of thing with this, but the rhythm is completely different, and it's extremely 12/8. I have to remember how to do that. I was asked for a tutorial. Whoops. Haven't done it quite yet. I will be getting it, at least the beginning of it. Recently, I told you that it's natural for you. I know. To take bubble bath with lilac petals. That's a joke. So, something about being old, though, man, is that I have a memory like a wet paper sack. Info go in, info go out. It's that simple. I rely a great deal on info that I've had for years back when I had a memory, before it became melted butter in the sun. So if you want to recall for me what that naturally to you is. Oh, the rhythm. This. Oh, that's right. With the whole down, up, down, down, up, down. Yes. Never mind. I got you. Took me a while. Sorry. So you go the other way too. Down, up, down, up, down, up. See, the funny thing is for me, the up, down, up thing, I got. Easy enough. Yes, economy motion. Good. I remembered, but there's a delay. I understand. So, but going the other way, I'm just terrible at it. Just terrible. It doesn't want to do it. This is about the only economy motion I can really get. I am a strict alternate picker when I'm ascending, with the exception that I start on an upstroke. So my crossing of the strings is almost always on a downstroke motion, which is interesting. So up, down, up, down, up, down. Get it. So, yeah. But, you know, it's weird for me because there's no two people that are exactly the same, right? I mean, our physiologies are mostly the same, but they're not the same, and that's the thing. We have to figure out how to do these things the best way that we can do them, concentrate on doing that. And then, you know, it's kind of like the whole biblical axiom of working on the rocky ground, you know, in your spare time, but, you know, you spend most of your time committed to the ground that you know will grow food. So, and I know that's about a whole bunch of other stuff, but I mean, really, there's layers and layers to it. But in our case, it's kind of like you work on what you're good at. What comes naturally to you? What's native to you? This is what's going to help separate styles. You know, it's kind of important to separate styles. You don't want to all sound exactly the same. We might as well listen to MIDI. That's terrible. Don't do that. So when it comes to, yes, thanks, Sean Lane. Exactly. So that's the whole thing, though. I mean, there, like I said in the very beginning of the stream, it's almost time for me again to get the Satriani out. Once it's out, it's good. But once it's time, and I gotta get the Satch out. But I would like to think that I kind of sound like myself, except for when I'm playing other people's stuff, and I hopefully sound enough like them that, you know, it's passable. But, you know, as for me, I think it's good that we have differences. I think it's really good that we have. Hell, Sean Lane didn't even pick like this. He picked like this, you know. I don't know how people do that. Until just now. This is alien to me. You know, I mean, I might be able to fake some stuff, but that is not natural, and there's a lot of squeakiness to it. I don't like it. So I'll stick with my own. Because it's a lot cleaner, and I already know what I'm doing. So, again, rocky ground versus... So my rocky ground, my rocky soil that I've been trying to maybe sow a little bit and get some of the rocks out so I can actually plant some stuff, is that downward motion, the economy thing. And I just don't want to do it. So I'm kind of leaving it alone. I mentioned this too, that when it comes to like... I mean, that's different. That's completely different from me. I don't know why it's different, but it seems to be different. I can actually do it, and I'm happy about it. But that stuff to work on. Again, I don't know. I'm 51. I've kind of got my technique down to where I want it to be. There's some stuff that I know I can't do. I'll survive. But you know, life goes on. I will happily continue to do mostly alternate picking on the way up. And I will do a lot of economy picking on the way down. So, can I record short solo to one of the tracks from the album? Anytime. I'm totally down, as you know. So, easiest Merciful Fate or King Diamond song to learn by ear. Ooh, that's a story. There are parts of many King Diamond songs that are the easiest to learn by ear. I have been blessed and lucky a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now, that I had decided that a good track to teach, I would say a student online, was The Eye. That's fantastically simple. So, yeah, I'm down anytime. So, yes, this whole thing, which is really in D, so... I'm not going to tell you the rest of it, but I will say that even the keyboard part... excuse me. Damn it. Is simple as it gets. I mean, it's pentatonically based mostly. Very easy to figure out by ear. I already gave you the key. It's in D. They don't tune to D. They're in E, but that's that. Even some of the lead in the beginning of it. That yeah. How do they? It is G. And I believe it's slide. Yeah. Harmony. Essentially, I didn't figure it out, of course, but then there's that type of thing that he does, but type of deal. That's pretty neat. So, oh, something from the graveyard? I don't know. Let's figure it out. It's been a while. Let's revisit the graveyard. 666 miles. Yeah. Liston musical metal. Adolescent leftovers. Again, this is how I think. King of Diamond. I'm glad you didn't ask me about Creator, because, god dang, I still have problems figuring out their shit. And it was The Graveyard. G. Okay, so that one's pretty easy. Yep. Okay. Ah. Probably. Let's figure that out. Okay, so it's more like... Probably. Or... No, it sounds like this. But it's a matter of just kind of, you know, hitting it back and forth hard until you get the right thing there. Figure it out. But still, you get the general idea. That's not beyond your reach. That's not beyond a lot of people's reach. Let's Heads on the Wall and Lucy Forever. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Ha 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 ha. So that's major. So that's... Yeah, could do that too, but I think it's... Well, okay, so you want to find the one that sounds like what it is that they're really doing. Because like I said, there's this, there's... But that, I don't think that's right. I think it's... open string, or doesn't quite sound right to me, so... But he's definitely hitting an open string. That doesn't lie to me. That's... Then minor. I love the transition, by the way. That's a lovely thing. Like, hey, it's beautiful. Something's kind of wrong, but say it's really beautiful. So you can hear that. Ah. You know what? That also sounds like it's open to me when he played that. But with harmony. Could be. Suggest that this was a little more difficult than the first one, only because there's a lot of different tones and tonalities going on. It's not impossible. It can be done. You can do it. I could also do it. Oh, Trick or Treat. Let's see. And Lucy Forever. You have to pick the songs that are complicated with dissonances. Something like that. I didn't quite play it right. Yeah, so here's one to pay attention to. So this again, it's a little more complicated. And when I say complicated, I'm talking about harmonically complicated. It's kind of like in a sense of the Bell Witch is more harmonically complicated than say Angel of Light. But those are just covers that I've done. So the harmonic complexity reminds me a bit of the Beatles, and I think that for a goal, it's good. It's a little on the lofty side for your hearing, you know, as far as like, all right, they're hitting a lot of notes. What are the notes? How will I properly arrange this to where it's played not only that it sounds correctly, but that it's played in a way that that it's conducive to my playing? You know, how do I make it sound as right as possible? The second thing, itchy nose. The second thing I was going to say is that I would try to come up with something if you're trying to learn by ear that's less harmonically dense, less harmonically complex. T, for example. Yeah. It was there. So I think that is a little better of a short term. So doing the better short term. Now they do have kind of like bell-like qualities to the top of that. So you're here. Okay, let's go back. So again, put these as place markers as goals. Voodoo. Which one? It's a secret. Track 5. That's straight diminished. Okay. That's called relative ear training right there. Relative pitch training. Something like that. Why would I guess anything else? So it's possible. Right. Very cool. Kind of jumps around, doesn't it? I wouldn't necessarily call that the most memorable lead I ever heard from a King Diamond track, but it was fun. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's a respectable thing to try to go for. I think that wasn't too difficult, you know, for me specifically, so it wouldn't be too difficult for anybody else. Go for it. As far as the leads go, learn the rhythms underneath first. That'll help you pick out where the leads are. Oddly, back in the days of Pete and Andy, it sounds like Hoot and Andy, but it's Pete and Andy. It's a good thing Pete Black's name wasn't Hoot Black, otherwise it'd be Hoot and Andy. Which that's dumb. Anyway, so I was saying is that a lot of times their leads are in very distinctly non-guitar friendly keys, like G sharp, G, or B flat, and and I'm talking minor all the way. So they're kind of an odd one. You know, once you realize what keys they're playing in, which is why you want to learn the rhythms underneath. Once you realize what keys they're playing in. It's easier for you to figure those things out, especially if you've already equipped yourself with the knowledge of scales and scale shapes. So that's cool. But again, T. Yeah, that's easier all over the place to figure out. It's common chord tones, stuff like that. I did it again. Yeah, keep going to G. Very good. Crazy whacked out leads, by the way, on that. A whole lot of pentatonic, like, type of thing that you'd be hearing, like, again and again and again. I always think that most of the people that we listen to when they write have a bell curve. So the earlier you go, the easier it is. Middle is very difficult. And then down the slope it goes to, easier again. Because guitarists are like, wait a minute, I got to play this live again and again and again every night. Why don't we write something easier? And so I think that's what winds up happening. So let's go back to try them. No, let's try the dark sides. This would be good to figure out. But anyway, so, I mean, something like that is pretty okay. It's a little harmonically complex, but not too much. That's one really good if I felt it. We'll figure it out. I used to kind of know it. Once you learn the chorus, though, it's kind of like, where did you go? You can't do anything else, do what it does. Yeah, either way, Fatal Portrait, The Dark Sides, wherever you want to go with it. Let's find another copy of The Dark Sides if I have it. You could try Shrine. All right. You can barely hear me? Oh no! I don't know what's going on with my peaks today, but what I was suggesting is, I don't know if it's the guitar that you can't hear, by the way, or what. But, or if it's just me when I'm talking. Sorry about that. Let me just suggest that the earlier you go, the likelihood of it being a little easier to figure out is much higher. And the later you go in a career, it's also somewhat similar in that respect. So there's a bell curve in the middle of density and complexity that usually the guitarist wants to get away from after a while. But my suggestion was The Lake. The Lake would be good. I'm going to be doing that in October, by the way. But another one would be Shrine. Pretty easy to figure out the most of it. I wouldn't say it's the easiest all the way through, but I would say that there's some easy stuff to it. And you could try to figure those out. I would stay away from the Beatles-esque ones for a little bit until you really start to get your ear kind of solidified. I think the that's pretty nifty though. So if you can start hearing the difference between major and minor right away, I'm for it. Go for it. Work on that in your spare time. With the rest of it, working on it, kind of full time. But if we're talking about ear development only, I would say T. I would say The Lake. Yeah. It's two guitars playing, it's not just one. Something like that. That's in D minor, I think. Something like that. I have to listen to it. And I might have to slow it down. Of all of the King Diamond albums, I've listened to that one a ton, but I am the least familiar with its material. That's not completely true. All of his later stuff, too. Like the Voodoo track, the whole, you know... That I learned that by request just because I would have never sought it out myself. It's a great track, but I just never would have sought it out as one that I wanted to learn. Like I said, I'm kind of committed to doing the Them and Conspiracy albums in full. And then I'll put them in playlists and call it good. Okay, if we're going to have to figure that out, good Lord. It's a good test of the ear right now. Liston, Musical, once again, Metal, Adolescent Leftovers, King Diamond, Abigail, and Arrival. And we're going to open that with SoundForge. So I can slow it down. Okay. There we are. I guess that must be it. Delete. Oh, I was wrong key. I think. Wait a minute. Something like... no. Let me hear that again. It's just D. So... type of thing. Let's see. Always in the odd keys. Back to it. Oh, dude, we're not too far off. Close that. But I think that's possible. Yeah, you could do that. I think the guitars have always been a little bit buried in the mix and washed over by a lot of reverb. But you can get the general tones that they're playing, and that's you know, that still comes through pretty clearly. Let me open up it again, and I have thought, well, you know, pretty hard around the same time I did the Black Horseman cover of also doing the track that I really love from them. I've just got to leave this folder open, I guess, is A Mansion in Darkness. That whole... That this is great. Power metal before power metal. Something like that. Absolutely perfect. Right back to it there. Great though. I have to figure it out, but still, love that track. I kind of knew a little bit of it once, but that was a while ago. But yeah, that's one that I was considering. So as far as and another one was, of course, the. I always play that with 3 fingers. Something like that. That's, another one that was high on the list. I used to be able to sing that high A at the end. Age changes people. I actually found a guitar an awful lot like this the other week for a ridiculously good price, because most of them sell for pretty much what I bought this for. And it was about, I think it was $6.99. And I'm still kicking myself for not picking it up, because by the time I woke up the next day thinking, maybe I should go down and get that one. It's a different color than this, but it's essentially the same with gold hardware and white pickups. But otherwise, it was essentially the same. This is a great guitar. These Charvel DK24s are freaking great. And actually, they kind of smoke the Jacksons. They really, really do. The neck shape is just perfect. Everything feels really, really good. But yeah, so I thought, I'll just go up and buy that. But first, let me check to see if it's still on their website. Now it's gone. So I confess that I may have actually helped sell it that day. Well, I've been on here for a long ass time, so I'm going to go ahead and bail. 3 hours is 3 hours. And I'm going to get started with the day, which is like getting actual clothes on besides pajamas. Putting some pickups in a guitar, completely wiring it up. And if it ain't raining, head out to my shop and maybe build something for this desk. It's going to be a good one. Oh, and I got to go shopping and get meat too. Damn it. By the way, like I said, I'm like pining for an oatmeal raisin cookie. If I could have an oatmeal raisin cookie right now, I'd be so happy. But I'm not going to have any of that. I'll be fine without it, I guess. But and for all intents and purposes, everyone out there, please be well. For the sake of things, like, share, and subscribe. Blah 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 blah. And I'll see you guys hopefully on Monday. So take care of yourselves and get busy. Saturday's happening. If you're not careful, you're gonna miss it.